Hey, what's up? I'm Guy.
I'm John.
This is our YouTube channel. Subscribe to it. Give this video a like.
Check out the podcast also below in the description.
All right, John. Ton of bad news for the 49ers. The Jimmy Garoppolo injury was significant. When he went down and popped up limping, it looked bad. Then he played the half, and as the half kept going, it became apparent he was hurt pretty bad. You texted me, and I think you might have tweeted too, like I would get Nick Mullins into this game in the second half, which I agreed with, and I thought it made perfect sense, right? It's 21-3. You don't need Jimmy today. Get him out, get him back ready next week. Well, it turns out he's not ready next week because the high ankle sprain has him out 4 to 6. And, part of the question is just how many games can you win with Nick Mullins, but part of this is just it was brutal to watch him. Credit to him for for putting them in position to be okay to not have him in the second half.
Yes, I think overall there was a huge take in the first half of like we learned a lot about Jimmy's toughness. Like, no, we already knew that. The last thing I questioned with Jimmy Garoppolo was his toughness. The thing we needed from Jimmy Garoppolo, just the whole country's watching him. They call him Jimmy liability. Like, he's a huge talking point, as he should be. He's on the defending NFC champs. He has to play better, and he was playing awesome. I mean, he looked like Jimmy Garoppolo. The problem is, as the game went on, you realize he couldn't move, and I started getting nervous for his health in terms of he can't get away from these guys. And you got killed ahead, the body will die coming at you.
Yeah, we needed more shots of Greg Williams on the sidelines on that.
Yeah,
broadcast.
Once you hurt an ankle around Greg Williams, you are a sitting duck.
Blood in the water, like, John. You are a surfer.
You know when
bleeding out.
You ever watch? You just flip on the Discovery Channel and you just see like the Lions they go after the limping gazelle, and once it wasn't Kyle's call, clearly, right? Why he didn't come out of halftime? It was Jimmy Garoppolo. His leg, it wasn't like he had a high ankle sprain.
Right, it wasn't Kyle going, we're good, rest up for next week.
Yeah, so I think big picture, it's not like Nick Mullins is going to get thrust into action in the sense of he got to play a half. They got reps with him. There were points in time in that probably the fourth quarter when I was like, I get why he's not running the ball right here. Get this guy reps, get him moving, get him throwing. I was like, yeah, start approaching like a practice.
Right.
He threw a pick. It was a bad pick, but he does have some just Jimmy Garoppolo mannerisms to him, right? Just his body type. Doesn't have a great arm, but it's not bad. He's athletic enough to just stay on the move. I think he's serviceable enough if you have a great coach. You get George Kittle back. We'll see on the running back situation. They drop like flies. But I think when you look at the schedule, you could win 2 of the next 3 games and be like 3-2 going into kind of a tough part of your schedule. You agree with that?
Yeah, I do. Let's throw the schedule up here. At the Giants, obviously. Philly at home, Miami at home, the Rams at home. So that's the next 4 weeks, right? So let's just start on the short end of 4 to 6, which do you feel any better watching him walk off that maybe he could be back in less than 4? I kind of do.
Yeah, I've seen high ankle sprains where guys get carted off the field, where guys definitely get got to be carried by 2 offensive linemen or a trainer type deal. He not only did he walk off the field, he kept playing and then walked jogged to the locker room. That makes me feel better. Clearly, he was just
how far
immobile
to the Greenbrier. Is that a flight? Does he have to get on a plane with that thing?
Yeah, I think he's got to get on a plane.
Okay, maybe they could drive him. Maybe it doesn't matter really, but yeah, like
put it in a bucket of ice.
New York's got
issues. My dad told me.
New York's got issues. Philly, Carson. I don't even know what's going to happen on October 4th, but I know this. Carson's going to throw a bad interception. Guaranteed to happen. That's just developing part of his MO. Miami after that, they can be beat as well. I think it's reasonable to think that with Nick Mullins, they can be 4-1 going to that Rams game. I don't,
I do think that's asking a lot with your backup quarterback to win 3 straight games, even given the opponents.
Without question. I do. I'm just saying I think it's reasonable to – I'm not saying that's what they should do.
Bosa's out, Sherman's out. Like, I just think your margin for error back. I think when you look last year, the bar was set when Teddy became the backup quarterback or the starting quarterback. I think those 6 games for the Saints, won them all. I just remember watching him thinking like he had his full repertoire, definitely on offense, of like Kamara, Michael Thomas, Sean. They were healthy. Taysom, and their defense was good. I remember a couple games against Seattle that I was just like, well, their defense picked the ball off twice. It was like, I just think anytime you have a backup quarterback, if you could win 50% of your games, you're feeling pretty good. Like that's all you want out of a good backup quarterback is just I can win 2 games, I can go split them. And then I think let's just look at the 3 games.
You're saying win the Giants game and then look at Philly, Miami, LA. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, I would just before I get to LA, I just focus on the 3 games, and if I could win 2 out of 3, I'm feeling pretty good. And then just maybe Jimmy's ready to come back by that game. Who knows? But I got Sherman back. I got just a bunch of other guys. Debo's back. I'm just more healthy, and then just take it from there. Because you're still undermanned with a backup quarterback, right? And it's still the NFL. So
yeah,
say one thing about the Giants. Like the Giants have proven now through 2 weeks, they do play their ass off.
Well, they're not the Jets.
No, they're better.
Having Mostert
their
back,
best player did lose their best player.
Having Mostert back would be a big deal. If you told me right now the Niners would be, 3-2 going to the Rams game,
I think they'd take that right now.
I think so too. I'm just saying. I think it's not like Nick Mullins hasn't played. He's played 8 games for Kyle before this year. I think
We started a bunch the year Jimmy.
Did he start all of those games? Yeah.
Well, the CJ started, remember, and then he wasn't very good, and then they went to Mullins. They kind of had both those played in the ACL year.
Yeah, he's had for Kyle, he's had 7 games where I don't know how many. I don't have the box. He threw the ball 11 times today. So before that, he's had 7 games with at least 29 pass attempts for Kyle.
They were terrible and losing a lot.
And they were awful. And he went 3-5, and the team around him was brutal.
Did beat the Raiders on Thursday Night Football, and Brett Favre called in. That was pretty cool.
That was awesome. On the post game set, that was very good. Yeah, beat cool. Seattle, sneaky that year. But
I don't remember that. Actually, I do because they were tanking. Remember, it almost cost them Bosa.
I guess my point is looking at all these teams individually, Philly, Miami, even LA. LA would be the toughest of that. But the next 3 games, to me, to be 4-1 going to LA is not out of the realm of possibility, just given I've watched those 3 teams and they can all be beat with Nick Mullins.
Okay, let's really live in the short term just to kind of put a bow on Nick Mullins is he a lock to be able to beat the Giants?
No.
I think maybe I'm getting ahead of ourselves talking about 50% in 3 weeks. Let's just look in the short term. Like he's going to have to play solid for them to win. I mean, the Bears, I didn't watch all the game, but I kept going back in the red zone. Clearly, the Bears were kicking their ass. The Giants just won't die. Mitch did throw a pick. You could argue, well, Mullins is liable to just if the game they're up 14-7 in the second half, Mullins throws a pick. It's going to be difficult. Like I don't look at the Giants game like I do the Jets game this week.
1,000% agree with you, and I think no matter what the schedule, even best case scenario, they're 4-1 going to the Rams game. I think anyone watching the Niners, you're going to be sweating it out for the next. I think each of these games is going to be.
Guy, if they're 4-1 going to the Rams game, that's an incredible accomplishment by Kyle Shanahan and Nick Mullins. Well, I don't give a shit.
He's leading. I mean, to me, that's Coach of the Year stuff, right? But I'm just saying, if that happens, I think it'll look a lot like some of the games they won last year, where it was by the skin of their teeth. I think it's.
I'm just expecting this Sunday as a coin flip type game right now.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the other factor here is just what does this is Kittle back? I don't expect Mostert back at this point. Is Mohamed Sanu able to play this week? Does Nick Mullins get any relationship with him? Right? What's up with D Ford? Is Drake Greenlaw no issues? I mean, it seemed like he was fine. Cal didn't mention him in the postgame Sunday. So there are a lot of questions, but I think I do think they're capable of it.
I would agree.
That's different than feeling good about it.
I agree. I feel they're capable of it. I'm on edge this week about how it's going to look. I don't know.
Yeah.
I trust Kyle. I don't necessarily trust Nick Mullins. And anytime you don't trust your quarterback, going into an NFL game is tough.
Yep. And the Giants are not a normal NFL team this year, right? You can throw picks, you can fumble the ball, you're going to beat them.
Yeah.
Not the case with New York Giants.
For sure.
Oh, they got to be back on this field.